Hey everyone, Tim with Collect Jurassic, and we're back again already with more Mattel Jurassic World toys to look at. This is actually part 4 of our video series showcasing all the new Dominion toys on the way from Mattel for the new movie, and there is just a ton to go over. Even in this video alone, we're definitely going to spend a lot of time on the new mini series, which is very exciting, but some core figures as well as some other new novelties as well. So stick around, there's a lot to take in, but we'll take you through each separate reveal and talk about it, starting with these first mini sets. These are 2-packs, or I guess not even 2-packs. There's a mixture of 1-pack and 2-packs. And as you can already see here, one of the really exciting things about the mini line from Mattel this year that's different from previous years is that the dinosaurs scale with each other, meaning the T-Rex and Giganotosaurus are huge, Stegosaurus, Triceratops are mid-size, and then we have smaller figures like Atrociraptor and Pteranodon and all that good stuff. So a lot to take in just with that information, but also these figures are going to be scaling with playsets too, which makes them really exciting, a little more versatile, a little more play friendly than toys have been in the past from the mini line. I mean, before everything was all the same size, the Raptors were the same size as the T-Rex and so on and so forth. So really cool to see them experimenting with scale here. You can see the Therizinosaurus next to the, I think this is a Lysonops or Lysis. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of this one. I just know people call it Leonard, and they're very excited about it. And I am too, even though I don't know the name. We also have Iguanodon here with Baryonyx too. So you can see the paint applications on these minis are even a little bit better. In addition to that fun scaling feature, they have a little bit more detail on them. And there's just so many species out the gate. They are reusing a couple different molds from the previous mini line, but they also have a lot of original new ones too, like this Yangchenosaurus, and even the Velociraptor Blue looks a little bit different since it's been scaled smaller. Got Quetzalcoatlus looking great. Just fantastic stuff. And I know a lot of people who don't collect minis are probably going to get after them this time because of that scale and also that playability with the play sets and the Matchbox cars, and then of course human figures too. That's right, there are some miniature scale minifigures, and we'll be looking at those in our next spot here in the video with these I think these are called Dinosaur Clash multi-packs. Or maybe that's the Mayhem packs. This particular one is called Carnotaurus Clash. And as you can see, the packaging is super fun with this kind of papercraft truck with showing a Carnotaurus Toro inside. But there's even more figures than that. And the packaging, of course, doesn't really betray that. But really fun stuff that comes in this fun truck. And then, of course, inside we have all those great toys. So you get Carnotaurus. I guess it's not Toro. It's just regular Carnotaurus. But you also get Triceratops, Leonard again, and Baryonyx, as well as a mini scaled Claire figure. I mean, how adorable is that? Getting these miniature scale human figures. It just adds, again, a whole layer of playability to a lot of these toys, being able to have humans interact with them. Then, of course, vehicles and playsets coming later. And again, you can get an idea of some of the little bit more detailed paint applications on these figures we're looking at here. And what's interesting is that previous assortment we were looking at was the blind bags. But in these multi-packs, we have some different species like Carnotaurus that aren't present in those other packs, which leads me to the next reveal, which is the Chaotic Cargo with Allosaurus. Again, Allosaurus wasn't offered in that previous assortment, but it's offered in this other multi-pack variant. I love the packaging on these. I love the little warning sign on the back of the truck and the eyeballs inside kind of showing dinosaurs. And then it looks like there's little punch perforated areas to get the dinosaurs and human out of the packaging. So all in all, really fun packaging. Can't get over just how inventive it is. But the toys inside, of course, are just as exciting. We have the Allosaurus, heavily inspired by Battle at Big Rock Allosaurus. We also have a scale Owen figure, Dimorphodon, Stegosaurus in blue. What I love about this Stegosaurus is it's very much like a full-size Mattel Stegosaurus toy we have, like the paint application on the crests on top. It's just literally exactly like a bigger figure. So kind of funny little correlation there, but little miniature Owen and miniature Claire are definitely the highlight of these 2 packs we just went over, because again, you are getting some humans to scale with these dinosaurs that in turn scale with each other. So scale is a big part of this year's line, and couldn't be happier to see it. Very excited about it. But there's even more miniature items to go over, like these little dig kits that are a lot of fun. I don't think there's any unique species to these kits, but the colorways themselves are are I guess exclusive to this assortment. But the general idea here is that you buy these little blind sort of dig boxes. They're really nice. They have the Jurassic World embossed logo with some fossils. Very inspired by Jurassic Park's Visitor Center, if you ask me. But then inside there's a little dig kit. You got a little shovel, a little brush, and you reveal the dinosaur inside. So really fun. Kids will definitely get after those. And of course you have some unique decos here. I think that Gallimimus is unique to this assortment. That one's a twofer, so you'll have 2 dinosaurs doing cover in that little box. But besides that, you can get a closer look at that embossed logo on the box there with the fossils too. Really nice details on these little boxes. Makes me want to keep them when I get them eventually. You can see Stegosaurus here is a unique colorway to this assortment. So Mattel's come up with all kinds of fun ways to get us to buy all these individual pieces so that we can collect every dinosaur in every colorway. So job well done. They know what they're doing. They know the science behind a collector's mind. Moving on to the play sets. This one's a lot of fun. This one's got Giganotosaurus in it, of course, as well as I think that is a Atrociraptor, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a Atrociraptor, but I love these playsets because they really remind me of the old days of Lost World Mattel Matchbox. But this time we're looking at Mattel Dominion, and these probably do scale with the Matchbox cars still pretty well, but no cars included in these. They're literally just playsets with minifigures, which look great. This one has this kind of breakaway, almost looks like a research tower that Giganotosaurus kind of bumps into, and it breaks open. We also have these giant fences and fence gates with some trees behind them, so get a little locale there, a little environmental feature. Could be from the movie, we'll have to see, but a lot of fun that you can have with those miniature Owen and Claire figures here, as well as the other dinosaurs. So definitely a solid start for playsets as part of this mini line. There is one more Mosasaurus based set that looks pretty cool too. It comes with like a little, almost like a ocean enclosure for Mosasaurus. Of course, in the promotional picture, it's hopping out of that enclosure to eat an Atrociraptor. But it comes with a large crane as well, and some sort of boat too, and a helipad. Again, I don't know if these are kind of based on something from the movie or if it's just a fun toy for kids to play with. But if it's based on something from the movie, that's pretty cool that there's going to be like a giant crane lifting Mosasaur into a enclosure. But sometimes these play sets take a lot of liberties just to be like a fun toy, so I wouldn't take too much stock on what's happening here. But this does seem to be the only way to get the Mosasaur at this juncture is by buying this play set. So again, they've done a lot of diversifying of the different species and repaints and silhouettes in order to, spread everything across all these different releases, which brings us to our final mini release and arguably the most exciting in my opinion, which is this 15-piece play pack that comes with fences and environmental pieces. Environmental pieces meaning I think there's a couple sort of, figure plates that figures can stand on. Comes with a little tree and also comes with fencing. Fencing. Us Jurassic collectors love fencing. And even though this is for the miniature set, I'm still really excited about it. Of course, I'd love some full-size fencing to bring to the 3 3/4 line, but I'm still excited to see it here. I love how this set comes with 2 Gallimimus too, so you can really get a little bit of herd action in your miniature park, but also Blue, Atrociraptor, T-Rex, Therizinosaurus, all here, rounding out this nice little kit. Definitely getting these fences is going to be, going to be great for all of us building our miniature parks with all of these new mini releases. And there's even a bigger pack that I don't have in this video that's going to have 30 different pieces, so I would imagine even more fences, even more dinosaurs, so a lot to collect with this miniature line. And where do you keep all this stuff? Well, in cases like this, they come with this nice, I guess you'd call it like a play pack, just a plastic case with that Dominion branding on it that you can stow everything in when you're not displaying it, or if you're a kid playing with it, or just, like me with my display shelves, it'd be a nice backing to put behind some figures. So a nice little touch for those multiple miniature figure play packs that they can all store in here. So lots and lots of stuff to get excited about for minis for Dominion. Moving on, a little bit bigger in size are these, I guess I would call these 6-inch scale figures. These are basic, call them budget figures because they don't have quite as much as going on as the Coraline figures. They also are all the same size. So the Giganotosaurus is the same size as the Therizinosaurus, which is the same size as Blue. In this case, Blue isn't even a new figure. That's a figure we've seen released in this assortment since Fallen Kingdom. But Therizinosaurus and Giganotosaurus both are all new, which kind of makes them a little bit more exciting here. And this line has been a lot of fun to collect for me. It's been tough. You can find them at certain retailers. I know around me we have Meijer stores that have these, but definitely going to be adding some of these new species to my collection. Thursdanosaurus looks really nice too. It definitely brings over the best features of the full-size Mattel figure. I'd recognize that head anywhere. They did a really cool job sculpting that, and they brought it over to this miniature figure as well. So look for these in certain retailers, Dollar General, things like that. These basic 6-inch figures. Again, they don't scale with the other figures, but still a fun little assortment to collect. Next up, we have some role-playing items. Hopefully you can recognize this species. It's definitely one of the kind of main species of Jurassic World Dominion that they're pushing. That's Therizinosaurus. We've seen the T-Rex mask they're doing. That's a deluxe electronic mask. This looks like one of the more basic masks, no electronics, cheaper price point, but you definitely can get the idea that this is Therizinosaurus. It's got the beak. It's got the reddish highlights on it. Still not painting the beak, even though the beak in the film is painted. The toys don't seem to have the beak painted, which is clearly an intentional design choice, probably to cut back on manufacturing costs. But this, mask is still readily recognizable as Therizinosaurus. So we'll have to see how, younger kids respond to the movie, if they respond to the species as being popular, because definitely a lot of merchandise around it kind of being a bigger deal. So we'll have to wait and see, because not only do we have this Therizinosaurus mask to consider, but we also, of course, have the signature claws. We had raptor claws the last couple movies, but now we actually have some Therizinosaurus claws, which in my opinion probably have never fit better for this sort of toy that they've always been trying to push, the raptor claws. Because what has bigger claws than Therizinosaurus? So finally getting those play gloves with super extra long claws. So pairing this with a mask, kids can of course role play as Therizinosaurus, chase each other around, maybe hide in some puddles like Claire, I don't know. But it's still kind of a fun combo between these gloves and mask. And again, leaning really heavily into Therizinosaurus and the merchandise, which is interesting to see. And, we'll just have to see how well that, if it goes down in Jurassic history as another, iconic dinosaur, then we'll definitely be glad we have all of these different toys and collectibles to track down. So we'll have to wait for the film to really get our full impressions of this species, but I certainly am excited. Moving on, we have some of a all new assortment, not to be confused with Snap Squad. This is part of the Uncaged assortment, and some of those figures in the Uncaged assortment are titled Wild Pop-Ups, which are what these 4 different figurines are. Again, they aren't like Snap Squad in that they're a little bit bigger and they have some action features, so don't be worried that Snap Squad is, getting canceled or taken away. It's still here for 2022. There'll be some Dominion Snap Squad figures, but these new Wild Pop-Ups are part of the Uncaged assortment, which Uncaged covers basically a bunch of different releases from Mattel, but basically the thing they have all in common is that they're very stylized dinosaurs. So even the Snap Squad will be called Uncaged because, they're a little bit more cartoony, a little more illustrated looking. These pop-up figures definitely fit the bill. We got T-Rex, Carnotaurus, Blue, and Dilophosaurus, some of the more iconic species from the films. As far as the action feature goes, really don't have an idea of what it does here, but I'm guessing it's some sort of popping up off their legs and maybe their mouth opening. So stay tuned. We'll probably have some more clarification in a later video about exactly what these figures do. We also have these, these are called click trackers, Uncaged click trackers, an assortment of 4 different, I guess they're sort of remote control. I mean, again, all we have is photos right now. We don't have really too much in the way of, video demoing how these toys work, but definitely some sort of remote control aspect. You can see the remote that's included with each of them. as well as a silhouette of a wheel on the bottom. So definitely some, some electronic action with each of these, but they are called click trackers. So I'm guessing, they're playing off of that Jurassic World scene where Owen's, using the clicker to get the raptor to follow them. I'm guessing this will work similarly with a remote and a dinosaur that follows you. And the dinosaurs, of course, as you can see here, aren't just limited to raptors. We have Atrociraptors too, and I love Atrociraptors. Colorations they have. They're definitely different than the Raptor squad, and they're a little more saturated. And you can see in this toy, it's got a really nice splash of color. Both of them, honestly, both Atrociraptors have a really nice splash of color. I definitely want to see more, maybe angles of this toy. It looks pretty simple from these side views. It almost looks two-dimensional, so we'll have to wait and see what these figures look like once we get a few more images. But just another fun stylized collectible from Mattel, again part of that Uncaged lineup, as they're calling it, to sort of justify those different visual styles compared to the other toys they're releasing. Besides the Atrociraptor, we have a couple raptors too. Doesn't appear to be based on blue. Almost looks like Delta to me, but gotta have that famous Velociraptor species represented in these toys. Very similar to Atrociraptor, but if you were to put these images side by side, you'd see they have different skin texture, obviously different skull shapes, all that stuff. But the basic shape is the same as the Atrociraptor in order to probably, utilize that same control feature with the wheels and the remote. I love this last one though because it reminds me of a raptor that was included in the Camper 2-pack from Mattel, 3 3/4 figures. We had Sammy and a Velociraptor, and this looks like almost the same exact colors. I love that kind of vibrant teal and the saturated bright color against it. I'm bringing that coloration back for this Click Tracker Raptor, which is kind of fun to see it here again. I don't think it's significant, but it's a fun callback to the core Mattel toys, kind of like we saw with those minis, which is fun. All right, speaking of core Jurassic toys, there was at least one that we wanted to talk about in this video, the new Velociraptor Blue and Atrociraptor pack. I believe this is actually Atrociraptor Red. They do have different names, but a nice little 2-pack, unique release for sure. I mean, this packaging is definitely not something we've seen before from Mattel for any release. A blister pack with 2 figures. Usually they do these kind of open air, kind of like the Camper 2-packs where they're just tied to cardboard and you can manipulate the figures and touch them. But these will be sealed in a blister pack, just like a regular normal Jurassic figure, which is interesting because even the wild packs this year are open air packaging, but this is sort of doing something a little different. So I'm wondering if this is an exclusive release or meant for certain retailers like Walgreens or something. It's just a little bit different, and there's not anything else in this assortment. But what is cool is that we do get Atrociraptor Red. I know we've talked about previous toys that had Atrociraptor Ghost, so you're already able to collect another one of the Atrociraptor pack. There is 4 in all, so I'm guessing they'll be spread out amongst a few different releases like this one and the individual figures. So again, kind of counting on us collectors to buy them all so that we can assemble our own Atrociraptor pack. Also includes a blue figure. I think this blue figure isn't unique. I think it's probably the same one as the Ferocious pack or Wild pack, whatever you want to call it. Same version of that figure. Doesn't appear to have any different like battle damage or sculpt or any kind of different action feature. It's literally just a repack, but that's what they do. They get you to buy the repack so you can get that cool Atrociraptor. And man, that is a great looking figure. Lots of crisp detail and looks like it has some great neck articulation too. So a fun little core release from Mattel to round out this video full of other different Jurassic toy reveals. So I think that about covers it today. We did cover a lot. Again, lots of exciting stuff in the world of miniatures, all those different miniature releases, play packs, play sets, human figures, different scale dinosaurs, different color dinosaurs, lots and lots of stuff to take in there, of course, in addition to the Uncaged stuff, the role-playing, and then, of course, those core figures. So I want to say this is probably one of our last videos covering Jurassic toys, but I think there's even more on the way, so definitely stay tuned to Collect Jurassic because we'll be talking about more Mattel Jurassic World Dominion toys probably any day now. Stay tuned. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.